Hi everyone, it's Jessica and this is VEDA day 22. Today I want to talk about emotions and how a lot of times emotions can be a strength and not a weakness. This is something that I have been trying really hard to believe for myself for quite a long time. I would say years and years and years. And I have always been a very emotional person. I am actually what is generally classified as a highly sensitive person, or an HSP. You can Google it. Elaine, Aaron, and some other researchers have done a lot of work in that field. And when I first came across that a couple years ago, that really spoke to me and was kind of enlightening for me to read about just the science behind it and the differences in how HSPs see the world and process the world. And it really helped click things together for me, but it's still always an ongoing process for me to get to the point where I really and truly believe that emotions can be a strength and a benefit, and that there is a way to use them in your favor and use them to do really good things. And so I was talking to a friend on Voxer this morning, and I don't know exactly how it all came up because it's not really something that I've been thinking about lately, but it was very related to a lot of thinking that I've been doing this week. And I just sort of heard the words tumble out of my mouth, which is one of the reasons I love Voxer, and also why I love vlogging, I think, is I do find a lot of value in processing things out loud and sharing them with others, and just hearing myself work through things can be really valuable. So in any event, this morning I heard myself saying to my friend, you know what? Emotions, I am emotional, and that's okay, and that's a good thing, and I'm not going to hide that or bury that away or pretend like that makes me weak. I'm going to embrace that, and I'm going to be me. I'm not going to try to conform to what I think others think is a sign of a good leader, or a sign of a strong individual, or a sign of somebody who is highly qualified for any given job. I think that for me, it's about how you use your emotions and what you do with them and how you sit with them, and naming them and acknowledging them. And this particular friend of mine is really quite brilliant, and she just understands me so well, and she can speak to my heart, and she really knows how to help me process things that I'm going through. And one of the things that she says to me often is, yeah, you're scared. You should be scared. Acknowledge that. Name it. Like, own that. It's okay. Or you should be upset, or you should be sad. Because a lot of times they'll tell, I feel this or I feel that. And I think that she knows me well enough to know that a lot of times I apologize for my emotions. And she always reminds me, don't apologize for what you're feeling right now. Of course, you would feel that in this situation. Sit with that for a while. Let that ruminate and be okay with that, because this is all part of the process, essentially. And so this morning, I was laying in bed and I was thinking about a million different things, and kind of going through this whole up and down of feeling really empowered and feeling really excited about some new opportunities, and then also feeling really, really scared about them, and just kind of thinking through all of the different pieces in my head. And I kind of felt tears start to drip down my face a little bit, because there's an amount of sadness and grief and loss that I'm also kind of processing through with these new opportunities, and trying to think through what that's going to feel like and be like, and all that. And I thought, I'm not going to lay here in bed at 6:30 in the morning crying. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go and do something. I'm going to go do yoga. I'm going to go run, like whatever. And it was funny because I just sort of got up and ended up standing in my room, looking around and kind of wandering about a little bit, and not really sure what it was that I was going to do. And then I thought, I'm just going to get dressed, and I'm going to go downstairs, I'm going to get my running shoes. And my beautiful friend had left me another lovely Vox for me to listen to. And so I sat on the floor and I listened to her Vox, and the tears were just streaming down my face. And I took my headphones out once she was done talking, and I just sat there and I sobbed, like ugly, ugly tears. And I acknowledged all of the things that I was feeling and thinking at that moment. And in those moments, that was bringing me to tears, and I just let it go, and I was okay with it. And I just remember sitting there thinking, this is not a weakness. This doesn't make me weak. This doesn't make me any less of an anything, whether it's any less of a person, or any less of a wife, or any less of a leader, or an employee, or an educator. Like, it doesn't make me less than anything, because it's good to embrace this and to just let it out. And I needed to cleanse my soul. And if we're being honest, that's probably about the 8th or 9th time in the past 24 hours or so that I've been brought to tears and that I've been crying, and that's okay. Like, it's going to take me time to go down all these different paths in my mind, and some of them are tricky to navigate, and some of them make me really sad, and that's okay too. So it felt really good and cathartic, I would say, to just acknowledge, because a lot of times when I'm upset, the thing that's going through my brain is stop doing this, or I feel guilty, or I feel like I need to not be doing it, or I don't know, I'm so critical of myself and my emotions a lot of times. And so in that moment, it just felt really good to just acknowledge, this is how I feel and that's okay. And I'm just going to sit with this for a little bit. And I'm probably going to cry again. This is not the last time I'm going to cry, and that's okay too. So that it felt really good. And then, I kind of got through the ugly tears and sat there for a moment and collected myself. And then I put on my sneakers and I got on the treadmill and I did 3 miles on the treadmill. And that felt really good too. And there was something just very symbolic, I think, for me about that progression of, I was laying in bed and my brain was spinning and I started getting sad and I started feeling upset and I did something about it. And then I sat there and I cried and I put on my shoes and I got on the treadmill and I ran. And it felt just like I was acknowledging that, yeah, sometimes things are hard, and that's okay to say, this is really hard, or to say, this is really upsetting me right now, but that going forward, the way that I'm going to handle those situations is I'm going to feel whatever I'm going to feel, and I'm not going to try to minimize my emotions or, hide them away. I'm going to just own them and let them be what they are, and then I'm still going to get up and I'm going to put on my shoes and I'm going to go and fight the good fight. And it was just very symbolic for me that, yeah, things are going to be hard, and there are going to be a lot of times where you feel stuck or you feel confused or you feel sad, and that's okay, but you're going to also get up again and go and do something. And it felt really, really good, and I felt really brave for, handling myself that way, I guess. And I think that that's something that as I go through my 30s, that I'm starting to piece together, is that I am who I am and I am going to be me, and I don't need to be a chameleon and alter myself depending on who I'm with or what situations I'm in. And yeah, I'm going to maybe play to certain strengths of mine when I'm in certain situations as it's fitting for the situation, but that doesn't mean I'm being inauthentic. I'm still going to be me, and I'm going to acknowledge and name and just embrace who I am and what I'm feeling, and that I am a very emotional person. I see the world through my emotions, and I can use that to my benefit and not let it hold me back and not let it distract me or keep me from still doing great things. I can actually just put all of those pieces together to do something really great. And so anyway, that's just what I've been thinking about today. It felt really good to do that this morning, and so I just wanted to kind of capture that for myself and make sure that this is something that I could reflect on and come back to and remind myself later, because right now it feels super easy and it all sounds really lovely, but I know that there are going to be times where mostly I just want to cry and sit there and just be stuck. And I have a feeling there are going to be many opportunities in the future to remind myself to get up, put on my shoes, and go and run, or go and have a hard conversation, or go and tackle a difficult task, or go and ask somebody for help, or go and do something that really, really scares me to no end. And I want to remember that I can, and that I will put on my shoes and go and run up against whatever it is that seems to be in my way, and that I'm capable of that. So that's what I'm thinking about today. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday, and I will talk to you all, here's hoping, tomorrow.